Hello grammar learners. In this video, we will learn the difference between that and which used as relative pronoun. This is Professor Mukhtiar Abbasi and you are watching my YouTube channel FEC English. Let's dive into the world of grammar, composition and punctuations. The word that is used in defining restrictive clauses. The defining restrictive clauses give essential information. The restrictive clauses are those clauses which give the important information. In some cases, if we remove them, the meaning of the sentence becomes ambiguous or unclear. The key points that need to be noted here are that the word that refers to people, animal, and things. The function of the pronoun is to substitute a noun, and the word that as a pronoun is used in place of people, animal, and things. The second point that is also important to note that no commas are used when we compose. And what is composition? Something that is in your mind when you start writing it, that is called composition. So while composing or writing something, and when we have that before us, so we are confused whether to separate the class that is introduced with the word that with commas or not. So this point says that no commas are used to separate the restrictive class, which is the important class, and that is introduced by the word that. Let us learn this through the example sentences. The first sentence is, the book that I bought yesterday is very interesting. Here the clause is that I bought yesterday. I have already underlined it with red dots. And the clause has been introduced by the word that, which is actually a relative pronoun. But this clause gives essential information. We already know that when we use the definite article before a common noun, it becomes specific. And then we also have to give extra information to make it clear that which one, unless our listener already knows. So if I remove this one, I say the book is very interesting, and I'm making this statement all of a sudden, and people don't know which book I'm talking about, so there's a possibility of ambiguity in understanding the sense of the sentence. So this clause gives or makes things clear. That is introduced through the word that. Let's have a look at the second example. She is the student that won prize. And if I remove that one prize and I say she is the student, and when I'm using the, you will ask that which student? You have not mentioned it before. Then in order to make it more clear, I'll put another clause after it, that one prize, and I introduced it with the word that, and this becomes a restrictive clause and gives essential information about the student. Other things you must note about the word that is that it is used in informal, right? Informal or neutral writing. Informal writing or neutral writing, and then it is also used in spoken language. In spoken language, we don't care much in some cases because there are various dialects and expressions. So this is very common in spoken language. And neutral, where neither it is formal nor it is informal. So in neutral writing, this is very common. But as far as the word which is concerned, it is used in non-defining or non-restrictive clauses. Non-defining and a non-restrictive clauses. Mostly adjective performs this work when there's a question of noun. But in some cases, some clauses also perform the work of adjective, and we call them defining or non-defining. So the word which is used before the clause which does not define a noun or a piece of the sentence that has already been put, but it gives extra information. That is my second point. So the clauses means which clauses that are introduced with the help of which give extra information, and it is not essential information. That means that if we remove them, there is no ambiguity in understanding the sense of the sentence. Let us also have a look at some other key points that are essential to learn when we talk about the word which as a relative pronoun or introducing a non-restrictive clause. The first point is that which refers to animals, things, and whole class. The most important part of this point is that mostly the word which is used to indicate the whole class rather than a one word that may be a noun or some other word. So which indicates the whole class, or it also refers to animals and things. Secondly, that is also noteworthy point is commas are always used to separate the class. This is very important when we talk about composition. In spoken, of course, we make little pauses, but those pauses in written language are indicated by various punctuation marks. So the second point is that when you are introducing a clause with the help of the word which, then you have to separate the class with two commas. So commas are very much important to put. The third thing is not normally. I'm not here putting over stress that not always, but I'm saying not normally used with people. Means with people mostly the word which is not used. That can be used, which is not normally used with the people, means to substitute people when we have a noun and we have to substitute it with which are that, so which is not preferred. Let's understand this whole scenario through some examples I've written for you. My car, and then comma, which is very old, again comma, still runs well. So here which is very old is non-defining or non-restrictive clause. It does not give important or essential information, just extra information. If I remove it, still my sentence will be clear. I can say my car still runs very well. When I'm putting here my, so I don't need to give extra information about the car to make it more clear. Still the sentence has a full sense because the word my, which is possessive adjective, is used before the word car. Then the Taj Mahal is a proper noun, so I don't need to give much information in order to define it that which one. So still I don't need any defining clause used after it, but extra information I can put, like the Taj Mahal, which is in India, attracts many tourists. Even if I don't use which is in India, everyone knows that Taj Mahal is in India, but I'm giving extra information. But this gives extra information but not the essential information. That's why I introduced it with which is a relative pronoun, and the class is non-defining class or non-restrictive. And note, I have put commas here and here. So this is very important for those who focus on composition, that when you are using non-defining or non-restrictive classes, so you have to put commas to separate that class. Then we have another point to note, that the word which as a relative pronoun is very common in written and formal style. Mostly in spoken, the word which is not preferred. So when you are very much formal in composition, that means written, or even if in some cases spoken, so then you prefer the word which. So common in written language and formal style of spoken or written language. I hope you learned the difference between the word that and which one to choose when the confusion is created, and what punctuation mark we have to use or we have not to use. If you have still any confusion in understanding that thing, don't hesitate to ask the question in the comment section. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Until my next video, bye bye.